people joining. Here we go. Cool. Hello, everyone. Hello. Good morning, everyone. I've never actually done a live video on Instagram, so this is going to be a little bit of a trust. Hey, everyone. Hey, Storm Chaser. I think that's you, Nathan. Cluster Magnets. Oh, man, this is going to be too hard for me to try to read people's names, but hello, everyone. Hello. I'm just gonna do all those look waves. I don't know what the etiquette is for Instagram Live. Hi, Evan play board game. Hello. All right. Ask me questions. I think that's just what I'm asking. I know I got 2 questions in. Oh, hi from Argentina. Nice. Hello. I know I got the question, are you planning to translate the game in other languages? That's a question that we're asked a lot. The plan is hopefully, what we do at AEG is we have a licensing team that goes and finds partners in other countries for other languages. We don't have any other languages other than English signed yet, but I know that they're working hard on it, and a lot of games of ours get translated in other languages. I know Cat Lady, my first game is in like 10 languages, and Santa Monica is in at least 5 languages. So I think it's likely. I'm asking why aren't we shipping to Mexico? I don't actually know a lot of the specifics. I know that AEG, there are just certain certain countries that we just can't ship to for some reason or another, and I've never quite understood that. But like I was mentioning, hopefully we can get a Spanish version to Mexico, or people who want the game can use some kind of service, some kind of mail forwarding service. If they would like to do that. Is more Thunderstone coming? Yes, more Thunderstone is coming. I think that Kickstarter's in a couple of months. We are constantly just working on more Thunderstone. I played the newest expansion. We're working on the one that is for the next Kickstarter. It's the one I've worked on the most at the company, and it's pretty cool. It's pirate themed. I got another question for favorite card in the game. Favorite card in the game is maybe the Gotokuji Temple. I am very excited for to go to the Gotokuji Temple. That's where the Maneki Neko, the beckoning cats, that's where their birthplace is. And I like that card mechanically a lot because it is a shopping and shrine card, and I think it's a cool combo. And it's got some cool scoring abilities on one of the versions of it. My favorite piece of art, though, is any one of the food cards probably, or the Kiyomizu Temple. I think those have like the best art on them, depending on what that question is. I guess I got a question. Have I tried Cluster? I don't know what that is. Who do I think is going to win the sumo match? Who do I think is going to win the sumo match? Today is Ramen versus Fushimi. I think Ramen's going to win. Today. Do I find that the goals at the end of the game are too easy? No. I think they're a lot easier than the earlier days, but it's all about how you structure the game. You can make easy goals for every day, but they're just worth less points, so you can try to do that. Also, it's more about than just the left side of the card. It's also about the right side of the card. So you might have a card that has an easy left side, but it's a multiplier based on what else you have. And so a lot of times you want to put those cards later in the day. So while it's less about trying to get them to trigger, it's about trying to get them to trigger for more points. So I think there's a lot to chew on for those later feature activity. It's, it's your final scoring card. So, it's easy to score one and get like 6 points for it. But what you're really hoping to do on your final day is score like, instead of, scoring like 6 to 10 points for that day, like you do for a lot of other days, that's the day that you're trying to hit like for 30 points. Yeah. I mean, the game is about more than just the featured activities. It's also about managing those trains, your mood, and all this stuff. And if you're playing with any of the expansions, measuring those. Oh, Wolfwind says, Konnichiwa. Konnichiwa. Keki desu ka? How many reconnaissance trips to Japan did you make? None. For those who don't know, I didn't get to go to Japan. So I plan to go soon. I'm planning to go in April. But the good thing is that I have a lot of people who've been to Japan. I worked with Japanese people who grew up in Japan. Most of my artists live in Japan. So they are advising me. I'm emailing about some stretch goal cards that we're planning on doing. And I was asking about some more Kyoto food that I don't know about. And my food artist knows everything about Kyoto food. And so she was like telling me a list of other options for good Kyoto food that is not yet represented into the game. So I am excited about that. I'm just going to scroll up a bit to see if I can find any more questions. I feel like I haven't missed any. If I haven't answered your question, just re-ask it. All right. Thought I'd take a moment. I just got this in the mail yesterday. This is a packaged version of the game. So far, we're doing a lot of testing of like different materials. Like I've had a couple of different shipments come in with different furoshikis, and I really love how this furoshiki looks and the sort of material it's made out of. What Japanese dishes do you know or at least have tried to cook? I cook a lot of Japanese dishes. I make a good ramen. The cool one is though okonomiyaki. That's that cabbage pancake, I guess is the best way to describe it. I know how to make that, and I've made that a few times now, and that is a lot of fun. I took a Japanese cooking class, so I learned how to make the egg dish, the tamago yaki, some chicken meatballs. I've made yakitori. Oh God, I learned how to make a lot of things. I've definitely cut my own sushi before, so yeah. Can the game be used to kind of plan for a real trip? Yeah, I mean, look, I think it's as good as if you open like a travel book and you just want to like find out about places and just sort of see them. I think that you could literally look in them and get an idea of what kind of place that they are. I wouldn't use it as my only way to do it, but I think it's a great idea to just like list out ideas. I know even when I'm planning my trip to Japan that I'm going to in April, I like was even like showing the cards to my girlfriend, being like, "Oh, I like want to go to this place and this place and this place," and she's like, "Oh yeah," and then she was like thumbing through the cards. She's like, "What about this place?" And I said, "Oh yeah, let me show you more like about that place online and everything." And I think that is a cool thing. I wish you have an enjoyable trip. Thank you. Why is the 5th player only in the premium version? Yeah, that's a good question. I really wanted to make sure that we could keep the base game affordable for people. And one of the big cuts I had to make was to remove a player. That was because those boards are really big in the game, and so it was the easiest way to cut costs, I guess. That way I could save everyone about $10 on the cost. Yeah. Will the trip to Japan game make an expansion? So there are two expansions. You can get the passport expansion in the Kickstarter, and you can get the day trip expansion. I have nothing else planned right now for that. I don't even have a. I don't. Oh, had a little bit of a poor connection there. I think I'm back. Where was I? Oh yeah, those are the two expansions. I don't know if I'm going to do spin-offs or other expansions. Obviously, it's going to depend on what people come up with and what people like. Okay. What's the highest score I got in Let's Go Japan? Maybe around 180. Most people, when they play for the first time, get about 100 to 120. So there's something that's cool is there's a lot of like learning you can do as you get more familiar with the cards. So it is definitely not like a game where you can always get better. Has this been the most successful Kickstarter yet? This is my first Kickstarter I've really had any involvement on, so it is. And as in terms of number of backers, I think it's the most successful Kickstarter so far, but I'm not 100% sure. Will the stretch goal cards be included in the retail version, or is there? So I believe they're going in, but I can't say 100% for sure. Yeah. Can you play with two people? Yeah, you can play with two players, and it works well. A big thing about me is I love drafting in games, and I always find that drafting two-player games don't typically work super well. So there's this sort of delayed passing mechanism, so you're not just handing back and forth the same cards back and forth over and over. Another question was my favorite activity card. Yeah, it's the Gotokuji Temple is one of my favorites. I like that card a lot. There's also the Sensoji Temple in Tokyo. It's got 3 icons on it, and then there's the Kiyomizu-dera that has 3 icons on it. Those feel a lot of fun. Kokodera also has a lot of icons. I think that one has 4 icons on it. And then there's the department stores in Ginza that has like 2 negative money signs, but it's got 2 food and a shopping on it or something. Or it's got 1 food and 2 shopping on it. That card's a lot of fun to play because they're harder to do. Yeah. Which activity do you think is going to win the sumo bracket? So we made a prediction at work. I thought it was going to be the Anime Museum. I no longer think that, based on how it only barely beat the Nijo Castle a couple days ago. So if you are an anime fan, I would suggest that you make sure you vote on those sumo brackets to help that win. Now I'm leaning towards Fushimi maybe winning it all. I think that there's a lot of people who like Fushimi and Ari. I know Let's Go Japan has a solo mode. How do you begin to design a solo mode? I think when I try to make a solo mode, I think this is like the 6th or 7th solo mode I've designed, because I often design them for a lot of the games I develop, or I work hard on them, and I've done them for all my games. I think that something I try to do is try to simulate another player's turn, to make sure that it feels like you're playing the actual game. I oddly will say that the solo mode in Let's Go Japan is one of the best ways to play the game. I find it really, there's a lot to kind of grind over that I think a lot of solo players will like. Do I plan any future content for Santa Monica? Love that game. Well, thank you. I really appreciate that. There is nothing planned right now for that game, but I really do want to do more for that game. I had a lot of fun making that game, so maybe if any AEG people are listening, maybe they can start to greenlight that for me, because I would love to keep working on more stuff. Something I wanted to show off today in this video that I got in. I'm going to see if I can open this with one hand. I'm just going to prop up my phone for a second. I got this box. And it has a little prototype of the bowls. They're not quite 100% the right size or final like on them, but they look really cool, and I am a huge fan of these bowls. And they come in this nice little box, and right now they got this nice padding on it, so if people are worried about the bowls, I'm going to say don't. What is my favorite Japanese snack? If you're talking about like kind of candies and chips, there's the video I did with Bonzinator. There's the honey butter potato chips. Those are really good. If you're talking about things I can eat, like street food, I like karage a lot. I like mochi a lot. I find I like a lot of Japanese snacks. I feel like I think there's a lot of stuff. How long did you realize the game was finished and ready to be published? That's a hard question. I don't know. I worked on it the entire time during the pandemic, and I feel like even up to about a couple months ago, I was still making like edits to cards, and because of these stretch goal things, I'm still going to be testing some stuff today even, but the game is I felt really happy, and like the game was done when I got to show it to people at Dice Tower West. Like, people were really supportive and really liked it. Now seeing all these reviews, I'm like, wow, you know what? Like, I can kind of put away that anxiety. I can put away that anxiety for sure. Can we see the wrapped game again? Yeah, sure. Yeah. So, it's wrapped in the furoshiki. For those who don't know, this is just a traditional way that Japanese people used to carry stuff in furoshiki cloth, and now it's used as this great way you give gifts in this, and it's reusable, and it will be really good. I kind of want people to be on the tradition of this. I have tons of furoshiki cloth. I sort of bought some recently and started using it, and it's a lot of fun to just kind of give gifts in this cloth. It looks really nice, and it's very elegant. Are the bowls food, dishwasher, microwave safe? Yes, they are. You can eat food out of them. You can put them in the dishwasher. You can microwave in them. Thank you for creating the game. My son likes Japanese culture, and I look forward to gifting this to him. Appreciate that. I think that this will be a lot of fun for many people, but if you're like into Japanese culture, I think this is going to be super fun. What's the weirdest or most interesting Japanese food you've tried? I hesitate to say that there's any real weird foods out there. Like, I think that there's a word in Japanese that means not accustomed to, and I think that's actually like a good way to say, hey, I like, it's not weird, and I'm not accustomed to trying this stuff. I don't have a weird Japanese food that I've tried. Something that's interesting. I find taiyaki to be very interesting. It's essentially just pancake batter with red bean paste, just shaped like a fish. I find it just interesting and unique. and I love them so much. I've never tried natto. And I don't know. I won't specifically maybe seek out to try natto when I go to Japan, but I'm also not going to. Like, if there's an easy opportunity, like if it's served with my breakfast, I will definitely eat it. But there's so many other foods that I feel like I want to try to eat. Can you show some of the anime art I have on the wall? I don't have any anime art on the wall other than I have this this Totoro vinyl record that I frame. I have these vinyl record frames and I can change it every week. So like I can just, I hope I don't fuck everything up. Sorry. Shouldn't use that language. But you can see I can just actually like remove the record every, anytime I want. And I usually change it every week, but for the campaign I have been, but I've been keeping this one up during the campaign just to kind of keep me in the mood. And then I have this whole Godzilla print. This is something that I got. I think I got this before I started working on the game. I worked on one of the Godzilla movies, so I do have a love of Godzilla because I worked on the one that came out. Oh man, maybe that was 7 years ago, whatever that one was. I worked on that Godzilla movie, so I became a big fan of Godzilla around that time. What's the biggest, funniest culture shock you've experienced with Japanese culture? I am surprised at how clean the country is. Not because I didn't expect people to be clean. I just live in a city that is dirty most of the times in most places. And to kind of witness a very clean city with a lot of people is very interesting to me. And I would say while learning Japanese, I find it really interesting just some of the ways that they do. It would be getting into maybe too much to talk about those things, but there's a lot of interesting things about the way that they, count things, for instance, or the levels of politeness and the way that they phrase stuff. I think all that stuff is super cool. Did I put my cat in the game? Yes. My cat Marshmallow is so far in Cat Lady. She's in the Box of Treats expansion. She is in Santa Monica, and she is in Let's Go to Japan. Hello, Better Half Reviews. Hello, everyone who's joining. There's so many people who are joining, and if I have not said hello to people, I haven't said hello in a while, but hello, everyone. Thank you so much for joining. Keep asking those questions. I am happy to keep answering questions. Maybe I should open my Furoshiki wrap stain. We are going to finish at 9:30 apparently, so get those questions in. But by the way, I probably won't be able to show this well on video, but I love the gold foiling on this box. It's I think a good version is if you look at the oh, thanks for loving the Totoro. Yeah, I was just explaining about that's the soundtrack on vinyl, and I just put vinyl records here every week, and for the campaign I'm doing the Totoro. When I go to Japan, I am going to be going to the Studio Ghibli Museum, and I'm excited about that. Something I did when I was during the pandemic while I was making this game, and I was learning how to speak Japanese, so I decided to watch every single Studio Ghibli movie in Japanese, and I did a whole ranking of them, and it was a lot of fun to just kind of go through all of them and practice Japanese that way. So it was that was a good little respite in the pandemic. Got my token bags. Something I want to show people. I feel like wood tokens are such a standard now for deluxe editions, but I gotta say, I am so happy with these wood tokens because they are huge. They are so much bigger than like a standard, like, meeples or other screen printed tokens. I just thought, and then you got your little mini bags with your player pieces in them. I am very excited. Let me see here. Keep asking questions. So let's end with some good questions. I appreciate everyone though coming and just talking. I just feel like not at this, when there's no questions, I'm just like, say something so I don't just like sit here awkwardly. When will I be going to Japan? I'm going to go to Japan in April. I literally leave 2 days after the Kickstarter ends. So it's a good little final note that, I had to cancel my trip almost 3 years ago to the day. April 1st is when I was supposed to go. And then I've made this game. I have the Kickstarter. The Kickstarter ends, and then 2 days later, I'm going to actually, I'm going to be there. Favorite card design in the game. I've mentioned a lot of the temples and shrines that have multiple symbols on them that I like. I'm going to mention another card that I really like in the game. In the Day Trip expansion, there's a Hakone and Mount Fuji card, and what I really love about it is Mount Fuji rewards you for doing a lot of relaxing activities afterwards. So, you just hike Mount Fuji. So now if you're going to be going to like onsens and relaxing, you're going to get a benefit because, you're probably tired from hiking Mount Fuji. And then Hakone is famous for its onsens. So it rewards you for doing a lot of like stressful stuff because, if you're going to be laying in an onsen, it feels nicer if you've like worked hard earlier on your trip. Have I considered making this a series? Yeah, we've definitely started talking about the possibility of series, whether we go to another country or we do more cities in Japan, or something else. My son wants to know if I'm going to visit the Hachiko dog statue. So the Hachiko dog statue is in the game, and I do plan to visit it. When I'm in Tokyo, I'm going to be staying right near Shibuya Station, where the statue is at. I'll be really close to it, so I definitely plan to see it as much as possible. I love it. How's the storage in the game box? So the storage in the game box, it is one of those really. So we give you this nice bag store thing in, and it's a nice thing where it's not like a lot of air. Everything, fits into the box. It even fits into the box on my latest test with the cards sleeved. But it is tight. It is really tight at that point. And we're just going to make sure, though, it is a good opening experience. Love to hear the development of the game. Are there any dramatic ways the design changed? Yeah, look, there was no featured activities when the game first started, but one of the biggest things was every card had a price on it. And I based it all on what things actually cost in Japan. And it was something that I thought was really thematic. I want to do these activities. Like going to a sumo match is really expensive. It costs 3 units of money, where going to see the Hachiko dog statue is a free activity. And I thought that was a really good part of the design because, you could play as a big spender and take a bunch of negative points by going through your budget and putting on your credit card. But I think, unfortunately, it was hard for people to balance their money. They just wanted to play the cards that they wanted to play. So I removed that and kind of changed that into the mood meter, which is really nice. How did I get Alderac to support your project? I work for AEG, but I was lucky to meet the owner, John Zinser, at a gaming event, and I showed him Cat Lady, and they signed Cat Lady. Cat Lady did well, and I got to do I got to work on tiny towns for them, and then later on they hired me full time. So that is the good thing. What's the language dependence of the game? You could play the game language independent. Maybe you'd want a crib sheet for some things. You would lose out on some of the flavor of the cards, but mechanically, it's just symbols and icons. Butterhalf says, I played at Dice Tower West. I loved how smooth it was, especially not having to worry about the cost of different cards. Yeah, I do think ultimately it was the best part. What was the best part of developing the game? I mean, obviously the best part was... I mean, I loved play testing, but maybe it was just it was stressful to come up with all the different places, but it was fun to do research on all these different places and like kind of dream up like, oh, what food should I put in the game? What temples and shrines? I knew like, oh, I was going to put X number of temples and shrines in the game, and then look up and be like, there's 3 times the number that I want to put in. So I always found that to be a interesting and difficult part of designing the game. People are saying we're so excited for the game. Thank you everyone who is joining and who is so excited for the game. I think we are supposed to wrap up 2 minutes ago. So thank you everyone who has joined. This has been very nice. Maybe we'll do another one in the future. I'm really happy with all the support that it's been getting. And I can't wait for everyone to play it. And those who have played it, I'm very happy with all the nice things that you are saying about the game. So thank you again for showing up and everything, and have a great rest of your day. And like I said, I have never done one of these, so I'm going to just assume I'm going to be able to leave this with smoothly. Bye everyone, thanks so much. Appreciate it. Have a good rest of your day.